back pains, neck pains, psychosomatic pains, pains in my stomach, just exhausted, trying to do too much, trying to say yes all the time, and never drawing a fine line and identifying my own boundaries. Well, I learned, and I really learned, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. I have to plug this in to use the clicker? Thank you. I'm not tech. My mother passed away in 2015, and before she passed, July 19th of 2015, she spent the weekend with me, July 4th. And one of the things she kept saying, I had cooked, and she kept saying, "Oh, Mom, this corn is so good," and "Oh, you did a good job," and "Oh, you're losing weight, baby, but don't lose your shape. Like, be careful, right?" But then she said, "Don't do what I did." I said, "What's that, Mom?" She said, "Serve people to the point of exhaustion." I looked back at her, and I said, "Okay." She said, "I want you to hear me. Don't give all of yourself away until there's nothing left for you." At that time, I was not a therapist, but I owned a salon. I was doing stuff like that. I was always a community person, doing things to help other people, always. I had 2 children, a husband who were very busy. And I was serving. And she's like, "When you get home, you still serving." I was at all this child's, my daughter in the front row, everything she did, track, acting, soccer, singing, ballet, urban underground, everything, stuff at church. I'm talking about 3-4 times a week, I'm doing stuff with her. 3-4 times a week, I'm with my son. 3-4 times a week, I'm doing something for my husband to support him. Just exhausted and fighting for my own health and wellness. I took her advice after she passed. After I recognized congestive heart failure had taken her out. After I recognized that the doctors had been telling her for years, "Marilyn, slow down." So this is a subject that's extremely, extremely close to my heart. And as people know, if you've been to my salon, you know that we talk about this all the time. Why do we expend ourselves until we have nothing left for ourselves, right? The state of black women of all ages, disciplines, and socioeconomic backgrounds, all women can fall prey to the Superwoman schema. All women. The difference is most black women die from stress-related diseases and disorders. So we don't have the same balance as other women. But I would not negate the fact that many women serve in their families and communities to a point of exhaustion, okay? That's my statement. I'm sticking to it. So all women do get involved in trying to be this strong woman for everybody all the time, but black women of all ages, all disciplines, all socioeconomic backgrounds and religion can carry the shield of the superwoman or strong black woman. The shield provides an image of a woman who is resilient. How many times do we clap for somebody who is doing too dang much? Driven to succeed and devoted to those around her. She is rooted, this shield is rooted in generations of history. I can talk about my mama and my grandmamas and my aunties and they aunties and they aunties and they aunties and they aunties and how it's just embedded into the black woman's DNA to do everything. I gotta look that up. I wanna see my DNA up close and personal because I'm tired of that. Just take that out of my formula, right? You don't have to be that. Many women see it as a proud legacy, and I'm very proud of my ancestors, don't get me wrong. I am not proud about the fact that they didn't take care of themselves. I'm not proud about that. It makes me extremely sad. I don't want my daughter to be sad, so I'm gonna stop right now. I don't have to wait till next week to get it together. I can do it right now because I want to teach her how not to do it, okay? This proud legacy that helps shield them from the insults entrenched by discrimination. So if you've been here all day, we heard Dr. Roberts, Dr. Dyson, all these different speakers speak about our historical discrimination and how what we've had to do as black women is saying, "I ain't gonna let nothing touch me. I got this. Try it if you want to. I got you and your kids and your mom and them. You could go over there because I got them." Racism has put such a pressurized cooker. That's what we're in. We open it up to come out and do what we got to do, and we stay under the pressure at all times. No matter what anybody says, it's pressure walking in work, it's pressure walking in the house, it's pressure walking in your kids' schools, it's pressure walking up in Potawatomi because some of them looking at us like, what's going on today? That's just the truth. people, black people in particular, get tired of that pressure. And we get tired of having to hold the pressure and be the best we can be to all people. It's just impossible. I'm messing up my slide. Oh, there it is. Okay. A little background. Historically, the Superwoman Schema, strong black woman script, a theory, a psychological theory. This is research-based information that I'll be sharing with you today, evidence-based information. That means it's real. There's been studies, okay? Okay. So it's utilized to strengthen black women historically. The Black Power movement, the Black Panther movement, black women in feminism movements utilize this strong black woman thing because we needed to change the narrative in our nation, sometimes in our communities, right? If he don't got it, we got it. If you can't do it, I'll do it type thing. The ideal image is a burden and a tribute at the same time. It's great to be strong if you can, but the burden piece is that people think you gotta always be that. So when you don't show up strong, then what? People turn their back on you because you need rest, or you need time, or you just said no, and that's your business, you can. In many cases, it is expected that a black woman will endure hardship in tending to the needs of others. We are the only person that is asked to endure hardship and take care of other people. Men, black men are not asked to do that. White men are not asked to do that. White women certainly are not asked to do that. We are asked to take care of other people when we're down, when we don't have any means to do it, when we don't have the strength to do it, and when we tired of doing it. We still do it, making us hardened, making us mean, making us evil, making us treat each other wrong because we're exhausted. And so that one more thing that comes up, we done blew up on somebody that we really love, right? To cope, black women, girls, and teens may start harmful habits: smoking, physical inactivity. Sometimes I want to lay in the bed with my popcorn because I'm so woe out. I just want to lay down, Sharika, right? Using food to cope with stress and more. Black women's images portrayed in pop culture, behinds out, gyrating all the time. I love entertainers, do what you do, make your money, I love you, sis, but that is not the only image of a black successful woman. The other image we see a lot is the mammy image, the one that's breastfeeding other people's children type thing, taking care of people all the time, and that symbolizes strength. I'd like to see a sister on a skateboard and be like, she bad because she went out there on that skateboard at 50. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be identified as strong by anybody else. I can do that on my own. But the images that we get in society and that are portrayed in pop culture, books, movies, religions, mythology, Greek mythology, African mythology, that is linked into this country is causing us a lot of problems. How can I keep this from going on? So this slide, too, that I skipped, the Superwoman Schema, strong black woman for African American women and mothers, has been defined, this is the definition, as a phenomenon influencing the shaping. As a little girl, I saw my mama do it, so I want to do it. The shaping, the identity, and reports of stress experienced by this specific population. This is where the theme of it came up, the terminology of superwoman or strong black woman. This role is known as a complex web of benefits and liabilities, societal views, health disparities, causing complex outcomes. It's complex outcomes because it's got benefits if I'm a strong black woman, liabilities if I'm a strong black woman, societal views if I'm a strong black woman, health disparities if I'm a strong black woman, causing a complexity of outcomes just out of little old me, right? If I fight for my children's rights in an all-white school system, I'm seen as a hero to some children and some mothers, but to other people I'm seen as irrational, or you don't have to come up here every day, Miss Kilgore. Sure I do. That's where my baby is. I can come where I want to come to see my babies, right? many of which are never fully addressed, these complexities, because we don't address them. We just deal with it, which is a problem with our strength. Address whatever is affecting you today. Don't wait another day to get that done, right? Never fully addressing it, women of all backgrounds can and do experience similar stressors related to this role. However, again, no other group of women experience this range of disparities like Black women. Understanding how the strong Black woman, strong superwoman operates in African American women may help us to better understand a woman's inability to engage in therapeutic services. You understand? Understanding this schema will give you more insight to why Black women may not engage in therapeutic services. Therapy, rest, relaxation, timeouts, sitting still, being quiet, putting your phone down, yep, getting a massage, yep, laughing, yep, hanging with your girls. All of those things are therapeutic. But we have a hard time engaging in them because of all of the other pressures. And what would I look like engaging in all that therapeutic work and being a strong Black woman at the same time? Like, it don't make sense. It's getting ready to make sense for me, though, because that's what strength is, creating balance, right? Uh-oh. What'd I do that time, Peyton? Peyton is everything for me. Exit full screen. Presentation. Help your mama, girl. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm getting it now. All right. There's my support right there, because I don't know how to do it, so I don't got to be strong in that area. Peyton got me. All right, so engage in therapeutic services. Today, what we want to do, again, is you're going to understand more about the complexity of Black women, why we may not engage in therapeutic services the way we need to. It's also a presentation to help healthcare employees, CPS workers, educators, et cetera, to improve your cultural sensitivity when working with Black women and serving them, right? Giving you insight to what is really going on with Black women in general. The climate of your workplaces should be altered too, to better understand what some of the burdens are that are going on with your coworkers or people you serve or people in your community or neighborhood. What is told, they are told that they must exhibit, Black women, emotional restraint. This is the key piece of what the syndrome is, what the schema is about. Restraint in your emotions. Just hold them back. You won't need to see yours, sister. Don't show them. Back-breaking independence. Yes, I can do it. I can do it by myself thing. And the historical role of a happy caretaker. I'm supposed to be smiling all day as I take care of everybody else but me and be happy about it. We can talk about that later, but that's really embedded into the idea of slavery. I'm supposed to be happy to be serving my master, and how dare I be tired? Just like Dr. Dyson just said, not resting. And if you rest, you must be lazy. We still think that way. And it was taught to us by somebody else that didn't do the same type of work we was doing. How you gonna tell me when I'm tired and you ain't doing it? We still think we can't rest now because it's embedded in us from slavery to just always be a workhorse. I'm telling you that's false. It's wrong. We are out of pocket. We are out of sync. We are off balance. And there's ways to get back into the game. Two questions to keep in mind that I definitely want to talk about when we have time for question and answer at the end, okay? What are your thoughts about this specific schema now that you understand the definition a little bit better? And how will you move forward personally and professionally to ensure that you will challenge your viewpoint of yourself and others, right? I love this quote by Malcolm X: the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in the United States is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. He quoted that in 1964, and I believe it is still true today. We went through some of this history and background. If you all did receive the PDF through Jermaine, so I won't go into all of this because I don't want to mess up the time. Historically, again, I want to talk a little bit about the Superwoman schema complex being utilized to empower Black women years ago, and even sometimes now, It was a ringing of the alarm to alert everyone that I can do it and I'm going to be all right and I don't need no help from you because you're not going to tear me down too. Some of us, some black women were torn down through work. Some of them are torn down at home. Definitely torn down in societal views because we elevate whoever is twerking, and I'm not ribbing, I'm just saying what I'm saying. And we don't lift, empower sisters that might be fully dressed, that might be singing. We have to do a lot better with the imaging that is out here and who we're idolizing in that imaging. As a result, black women are socialized to balance what has traditionally been considered the feminine traits of being nurturing and caregiving with all that they have considered, and they have to also carry masculine traits of self-reliance, strength, and hard work. How in the world can we be feminine and masculine at the same time and do all these things all the time? Well, we've seen women do it, causing them these illnesses that lead to death, which is why I'm here today, only because I want people to stop dying from stress-related diseases caused by being nurturing, caring, hardworking, self-reliant. I'm about to go crazy. I can't be all things, and I don't want to. And no other human on the planet is asked to be all that except for black women. Nobody else is even expected. You walk in work, oh, Simone can do it. Well, who told you? That ain't even my department. I had to learn real early to say, I can't do it. I don't know how to do that. That's their job. But they'll call you from a whole nother department. Deep. Y'all ain't calling nobody else, though, but whatever. Over time, the identity was needed to stay afloat, to stay strong, as black men were working in the fields or coming back from the war or being incarcerated, or women were becoming single parents. Black women had to stay strong to stay afloat. They had to show the nurturing side. They had to show the discipline. They had to show the hard work. They had to serve in their community and their churches while probably taking care of their mom and them, or at least an uncle or a brother stayed with them. Somebody lived there too, and their kids, and probably their sister's kids. It's just way too much. Now we don't need all of that. Now we can be smarter about our choices, who we choose to take care of and who we say no to, even in our families. But I didn't tell y'all that, so don't tell y'all families. But yeah, seemingly if you are strong, then you must have no specific needs, which is the liability piece. If I'm so strong, then I must not have any specific needs. Simone's got it. I'm not even going to ask her if she needs any support with that project I put her on. I'm not even going to ask her, does she need help at home with that yard? Because I say her mowing it every Saturday morning. Bro, you can come over here across the street, too, and help me. You can help me with the dishes, too. I ain't that way. I'm an equal opportunity helper. Support me in everything, okay? Right? This ideology is interwoven into American institutions, schools, colleges, hospitals. Black women in here looking at me like this, y'all. You know? Because we know it, right? But it causes a great defeat amongst black women, not only who feel unsupported, but get this, because I ain't finna be this. We also are invisible. I ain't gonna be invisible now. I just ain't gonna do that. I was getting ready to preach, but hold on, Simone. I'm not going to be invisible. When I go to the doctor, they're going to sit down, look at me, talk to me. When I go to the dentist, if I'm at the DMV, if I'm at Hardee's restaurant. Yesterday, I went to help a lady in a nursing home, one of my old salon clients. I stopped at a McDonald's on National. The people were rude in the drive-thru. I went in. I go to the register. A lady's at the register helping an elderly man. I wait my turn. I was taught to wait my turn. He moves over here because this is where his food gonna come up at this end of the counter. I come up to the counter, the lady standing there. I said, hi. Is this where I place my order? She said, you can. You know me, Charlotte. We finna have a good time. We finna have a good time. So I said, are you the person who could take it? She said, what do you want? I said, oh, this is McDonald's. I look right here. So then she said, he can help you. And she walked away. So a man comes over. He leaves the station where he's putting fries in the bag to give to the drive-through people. She comes, she moves, he comes. I'm looking at her. This is how I'm doing through the counter. He said, what do you need? He said, what do you need? I looked at him and said, I don't need McDonald's. That's the problem, Simone. You ain't supposed to be here. Number one. This is me at McDonald's showing out, talking to myself. You know I did, Tasha. Simone, you don't even need, I don't need this. Secondly, who is she? She's the manager. I said, oh, she was so rude to me. He said, well, she don't do this part. She don't take people's orders. I said, she just took them 2 people's because I saw her. And all she had to do is say, ma'am, this is not my role. Let me get someone to help you. Because that's management, right? Manage this. Manage my French fry order, because that's all I wanted, Peyton, was French fries and an ice cream cone, because I like to dip it, you know how I do. So, thinking about being invisible, which is what I was treated like yesterday. Miss Simone, bright, smiley, right, blonde hair. I'm coming in, I speak to everybody. You know, Shamika, I'm always talking and laughing. I ain't clowning at McDonald's. Invisible. Y'all don't even got no, y'all got fries. Mad, I was mad. And I walked out, and I did not order, and I walked out. I walked out, won't go back. Won't be mistreated, treated invisible ever again at that place again. If somebody else do it, that'll be their first and last too, right? Because to me, that's being a strong woman that knows who I be, and I need to be served like everybody else in equity. So if they didn't get the message, 1 or 2, or maybe the last person in the back, somebody got the message yesterday. I don't want to be invisible, but this invisibility, this intersectionality of being invisible, by being a woman and being black, we are double-edged sword. Double disrespected, right? Double what we say minority, right? Which I don't even believe in that word, but whatever. But it may lead to black women's exclusion. The study finds that black women are often less likely to be associated with the concept of a typical woman and are viewed as more similar to black men than to white women who have all of our same parts and issues. It's bizarre, right? Medically, we're not even considered to be like white women, Asian women, Hispanic women. We're more considered to be like black men. Bizarre. At the same time, this may lead to some anti-racist and feminist movements failing to advocate for the rights of black women, according to new research published by the American Psychological Association. This intersectionality means that the movements that are supposed to help black women recognize what their real strength is and what their real power is, and it's not about helping everybody in the world, these same institutions or movements may be contributing to our marginalization, leaving us out again. Black women are left out of everything. It's bizarre. If black women were free, it would mean that everyone else would have to be free, since our freedom would necessitate the destruction of all systems of oppression. Just by stopping the oppression of black women, we would free all other people. Facts. I'm not even going to go into the facts of the oldest bones found, because you know where people's civilization comes from. You free the start, and everything else will follow that. The Superwoman Schema construct 5 dimensions. Number 1, feeling an obligation to present an image of strength even when you don't feel like it. Now, what's that called? Really false flagging. If I'm not well, it's okay for me to be like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm not a major complainer. So I don't often tell people I don't feel well, I'm not feeling good. My kids will know, my people, my partner, whatever. But I don't really go out saying it. But if I don't feel well, it's okay for me to be like, I'm not as strong as I want to be today, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to try to work on it. Can you help me? I might say that too. That means that my strength comes from you helping me. That's where my strength comes from. Number 2, feeling an obligation to suppress emotions. Why would I cry at work so white folks can see me? I'm not going to let that other sister see me cry either. I'm not going to let that black man see me cry, or my Asian neighbor. I don't know what that's about, but that is part of the schema. Check yourself for this, though, okay? I'm not talking about other people. I'm just talking about me. And so when I hear a message, I think about me. Try to think about, in any part of this schema, are you holding any of these constructs? Do you see yourself like that? Do you see the world view of yourself in this schema? Resistance to being vulnerable and dependent on others. Peyton, I need your help today at the conference. Can you come with me, darling, and help your mama out? Or whoever. Having an intense motivation to succeed despite limited resources. My God, my God. I don't even know why we so pretty. I don't even know how we so delicious. I don't even know how we making it. I don't know how we got so many degrees and nice cars, and my girl back here got practices all over the world. All over the world. Despite circumstances that try to limit her, we still rise. You ain't gonna be, I'm not gonna be invisible. So if you know that, you might as well be healthy. You might as well figure out how to balance it. Feeling an obligation to others all the time is draining me to death. I am tired. And I have shown up like that for people, so it ain't their fault they keep calling me for crazy stuff in the middle of the night. I clearly have showed them that they can, because I must have put some kind of, yes, I must have put some kind of measurement in how I can show up for 56 people in my life and hold down a family. My daughter told me, I asked her, you say, Peyton, you want to have this salon, you want to learn how to do hair? Can I tell them your business? My baby can't do her bangs. That's okay, I could do it. I got you. She ain't got to be all things, right? I got them bangs, okay? She don't want it. My son didn't want it, but she said, Mama, I don't want to be like you. She was 13, maybe 12. I said, what, you don't like me? She's like, no, that ain't it. You work all day. I see you go in the shop 6 in the morning, you'll come out at 10 at night. Then you do homework, and you cook, and you clean, and we go to church, and we learn this, and the house is spotless, and you walk the dog, and you work out, and you go help your friends, and you drive to Beloit to go help grandma every other week. She said, I don't never want to be like that. Ouch. Girl, I had to look in the mirror like, first I was a little mad. Because I'm raising you, I'm doing the best I can. But I had to understand what modeling behavior therapeutically, we think about who the models are for people that I see in my private practice, Transcendent Hope LLC. Thank you. So when I see people and I work with people in the community to try to help them get closer to themselves, that's it. That's all therapy is. Get to know who you be. Introduce yourself to yourself. Let's figure out how to do that, right? Working with women mostly, black, white, Asian, whatever, we deal with this double-edged sword of trying to be there for everybody all the time. And if I'm not, then what will they say about me? Well, what they gonna say when you at your funeral? They may not mention that they called Simone through the night 56 times and I got up and was there. They might just be like, she's a good person, and go and sit down. They're gonna find another good person at my funeral, probably some of my people. I don't know. Anyway, the strong black woman syndrome has been dubbed as a double-edged sword, again, for African-American women, both a coping mechanism, because we gotta be strong because we can't be seen weak because you ain't taking my kids. I got them. I'm gonna work 5 jobs to make sure they eat and go to school, and they're gonna be clean, and my house is gonna be clean. And I probably got my mom upstairs and my brother who cannot get a job for whatever reason. It's all the things. So we won't let it be seen. So we cope with this strength that keeps this motor running, right? I cannot be seen as a failure. I cannot be seen as I'm letting people down. At the same time, this coping mechanism allows them to withstand racial and gendered stressors and support others in the face of those stressors. How can I deal with racism, right? Sexism, all the isms that black women deal with, and help other people through those same stressors? It's bizarre, but we do have what we call an inner strength, a desire to help people heal, a desire to help people be okay as they persecute and harm us. Again, we fed the master's baby. Don't get it twisted. Nobody else was asked to do that because of us, because we were always seen as strong enough to do it and be beaten and be raped and go back in the field and face our husbands who were hurt from us and we were hurt from them, and we transferring that. We were always seen as this strong factor that could deal with all this mess and still produce. It's foul, it's fake, and we're sick, and we are losing black women because of it. 2 concepts that the American Psychological Association cites that explain the phenomenon quickly. The Sojourner Syndrome, take a chance to look it up, is defined as an illustrative and symbolic representation that describes the multiple roles and societal identities of African American women, on the basis of historical reference and adaptive behaviors that fostered survival and resilience under oppressive circumstances. Just what I said earlier in a nutshell, right? This is just a nice way of putting it in the APA. The Superwoman Schema, or the strong black woman role, is when the socioeconomic levels, all of them, of black women, give into this complex because of unspoken pressures. How many of us go around talking about how tired we are of being strong or seen as strong? People are doing it a little bit more today. I see you, sister. We're doing it a little bit more today. But I'll tell you, when I was growing up, I never heard women talk about this. I just heard them talk about all they did all day. I thought I was supposed to put on a pot of beans at 6 in the morning. Before I went to work, got my kids out, got the house clean, mopped the floor, started to load, dry the load, fold the load, walked the dog, and ran by Pick and Save for the lunch for work. I'm talking about all before 9 a.m. Right, Peyton? Right. Foul. I don't do that no more, do I, boo? No, ain't no food in there now. We all going now, okay? I'm tired. I done got tired. Shoot. Obviously, some of these characteristics are not unique to the Superwoman syndrome. Again, talking about how many women also carry the burden of having to be strong all the time. Again, but only black women really die from this syndrome, affected by this syndrome, causing the outcome to be death. So we are including women, but we specifically talking about black women and mothers because we die. We leave those that we've been strong for. It's bizarre. This is a bizarre phenomenon. I'm trying to be strong for y'all to the point that I die? Oh, get it together, Simone, right? It is the excessive embodiment of these characteristics that interferes with physical, psychological, and spiritual well-being. Very problematic. I'm serving in this church, although I don't feel very respected. I don't know if we're growing the way we should spiritually, but I'm still going to do it because I'm Sister Simone and they're relying on me. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The 3 frameworks, the Superwoman syndrome, Sojourner syndrome, named after Sojourner, who came back. She was so strong, she kept coming back, healing other people, freeing other people, over and over and over. Y'all think she got a pedicure? Think she even sat down and put her feet in the water? She didn't have time for none of that. She was saving the world. I don't want to be that. If I could save somebody in here today by just talking, that's it. That's it. I don't have the strength and the endurance to keep walking like she did, climbing, fighting, risking her life over and over, because I got her. I got a son. I got 2 grandbabies. I got friends and family, and I got my own future. I don't want to be serving until death like that. According to the CDC, due to prolonged stress, black women have a life expectancy of 3 years less than their white counterparts. We always dying early. My aunt passed away from breast cancer, and I was really interested in the research, always been a research nerd, and I was talking to her oncologist and just her team and saying, you know, why can't we develop any cancer treatments that are specifically for black women? Well, we just don't have enough research. Why not? Black women die from breast cancer. Why can't you ask to do a research study on it? So why can't we? Why can't we do it, right? You got to have funding. You got to have issue. All the pit holes. Nobody's interested in researching us. Nobody's interested in why we're dying from things that other people can heal from. The treatments work for them. Medications work for them. They're developed by them for them. It makes sense to me. We have to figure out why systems aren't even interested in our well-being. And if I know that a system is not interested in my well-being, Peyton Elizabeth, then I'm going to create my own system of well-being. I don't need nobody to do it for me. That's the fight we're in now. To survive, black women have developed what's known as high-effort coping. In order to keep going, that has been shown to put wear and tear on our biological systems, otherwise known as the allostatic load, and cause higher rates of anxiety and depression. High-effort coping is defined as sustained cognitive and emotional engagement, is described as a problem-focused coping strategy. We focus on the fact that high coping is no matter what, I'm gonna make it. No matter what, this presentation gonna be the best. No matter what, I'm gonna I'm gonna clean up and be so clean at church on Sunday. I'm gonna say, we cope by saying we're gonna kill that, we're gonna get that, we're gonna do that. High coping, so we don't never look like we failing. It's not failing to sit down. It's not failing to lay down. It's not failing to say no. The high coping is putting so much stress on our bodies, our neural systems, our respiratory systems, our brain processing, going all the time. Okay, I got to get to this training. I got to go here by 2, by 1:30. I got to pick them kids up, take them beans off, put some meat on. All we do is think about somebody else all day. High coping means I feel good at the end of the day if I've done all 29 things on my list. Bizarre, I get pleasure from that. Bizarre that somebody gets pleasure from completing a list that's impossible for most humans. This is a graph, a picture of the allostatic system and how it can affect African-American women in the superwoman role, thinking about how the brain is set up, right? So one of the 3 components, remember, we are supposed to suppress emotions, not be vulnerable, okay? Our behavior is low in physical activity. Interpersonal romantic relationships are strained, because did you ask me to do what? And you resting, and you went to play golf, and you kicking it with your boys, and you got another meeting. We are strained because we are tired, right? Same thing. Again, it talks about the history. This pointer don't light up, does it? The people gone. Maybe it does. Oh, wonderful. History of stereotyping and oppression, race and gender, putting us in roles that we're not in. Because I'm a black woman, I must be able to cook really good fried chicken, which I'm not great at it. I can eat good fried chicken. Okay. History, disappointment. That's our history in many instances, not all. Mistreatment by systems and people at McDonald's mistreated me yesterday, and my $6 was just like everybody else's, okay? But I did leave out of there a little disappointed and hurt, because what did I do? We get tired of that. Why you following me around this store? Why you think I can't do this? A lady told me last night she was trying to find her mother housing from the nursing home and her own type of housing where she could get the kind of care she needed. And the lady behind the desk said, well, we don't help people low income. This is not that kind of program. And she said, ma'am, I stay right next door to this. I'm not low. Who told you I was low income? Did you see my money? Because maybe something happened, I don't know. Maybe I am. I'm not, who told you that? Just the idea that we're being mistreated in most places. If you work with black women, serve black women, trust that they're being mistreated in most places. If you work with black women, if you service black women, understand that they're being mistreated in most places. If you work with black women, if you service black women, understand that they're being mistreated in most places. I too have to understand that as a black woman, that my sisters are most likely being mistreated in most places. That means my approach to them is very different. I right away let people know with certain language, I will not mistreat you. That's how I introduce myself. I said I was going to do it. I got you. I'm writing it down. I'm putting it in my phone right now. I'll give you a call. People that know me in this room know that I start the relationship like I'm not a harm. I will not hurt you. I know you tired of that, right? Spiritual values, we keep them because such and such said we got to stay married, and such said we got to serve the church, and such said we got to serve the community, and such said. Our four mothers, and what they've done and the examples that they have given us are influences. I wanted to get up and cook breakfast early in the morning like my granny used to do for my papa. But my granny didn't work outside the home either. I forgot. And she didn't drive either. My papa paid all the bills. So, I mean, she delicious, hardworking, strong woman. But I'm carrying a little different route. So I can't mirror that same route. Because I was trying to do her. I was trying to work like a man. I was trying to save like a man. I was trying to work out. I was trying to be the best parent. You're trying to do all the things. You get sick. Manifestation, your strength, determination. Black women have this determination to succeed despite having limited resources. And we have an obligation to help others more than ourselves. Epigenetics and genetics. Meaning, where did you learn that? Over here. It's almost in your DNA. It's almost linked to our DNA to serve others before we serve ourselves. To be obligated. An obligation is not a appointment. An obligation don't really leave you. Thinking about how it affects the body, The central nervous system. That's why we always agitated, irritated, anxiety, mean, angry, tired, pooped, about can't hear, dissociating while people are talking. Central nervous system, inflammation. I work in the salon. I always tell sisters when I'm shampooing their hair if I can feel if their neck or shoulders is swollen. Because I can. You swollen from stress, high levels of cortisol, and inability to reduce the stress. Let me rub this down for you. APH axis, what is off in that? What is throwing us off all the time? Maternal and non-maternal health, so anxiety, depression, poor sleep, impaired immunity, meaning we get sick a lot more than other people. Black women get sick with colds, sniffles, throat issues. I don't know what's wrong with my stomach today. I got a headache, I got a migraine. The back of my hand is itching. We got all kind of problems. Back of my hand just be itching. What is wrong? Doing too much, right? Allostatic load is overloaded. Cognitive and cardiovascular health. Cognitive health. Cognitive, the way you think. What you spend time thinking about. When you rest your brain from thinking. It's very much associated, you see the plus, cardiovascular health, that means plus and. That means you cannot just have physical fitness for the cardiovascular health and not be right cognitively and think you're going to be well. You could be on a treadmill 60 times a week, but if you don't clear your mind, you're going to have high blood pressure too. You're going to have diabetes too. You're going to die from stress-related disorders too, because it's got to be both, y'all. Cognitive and cardiovascular. How do we do that? Mental health and well-being, right? Superwoman features may stifle your authentic self, expression, the way you express yourself, because you believe that you can't get to it. You just got too many things to sign up for Cothi. Too many things going on to go to a swim class. You missed your sister's brunch. Peyton, how many brunches and stuff have I missed? I feel so bad. My girl had a party the other day and I missed stuff because I'm doing too much most days, right? But dealing with some things in my family, I had to. But what I've been trying to commit to is being with my friends, celebrating their wins, celebrating time with them, because it lifts me too. Serotonin levels are lifted. Making me say, yeah, them dishes in that sink and them kids ain't getting no greens tomorrow, but I'm about to go to this party and have a good time with my people. It does my heart good, right? Adopting these characteristics can become a suit of protective armor to mitigate the damage from a hostile world that assaults black women with degrading images and stereotypes. That's another reason why we believe that we have to be strong, because we don't want them to think that we're that, fill in the blank. We don't want nobody to think we can't. We don't want nobody to think we're weak. We don't want nobody to think we need them. Because are we believing in the images that are out here? If you live your life thinking, I don't want nobody to think that I'm like that, then you believe the images that's out here too. Because I don't care what nobody think about me. I really don't. I had to really work on it. I show up as authentically as I can, as myself, all the time. Everywhere I go. I'm not code switching. I'm not changing my voice. I wear what I wear. My hair is what it is. This is corporate too. This is streets too. This is the clinic too. This is platform too. I can do whatever I want to do and be me, and that type of freedom is hard to get to for sisters because we're so busy looking at what we don't want them to think we are. You spend so much energy on thinking about what other people is thinking about you that you're doing the worst. You're doing it. You're still doing it because you're pretending to be this super strong woman in all areas of your life, and that is really, I don't like to use the word failure because I don't think we can fail. But I think we're misstepping. We're out of whack. We're out of where we should be, off balance. Always thinking about achieving so others don't think we can't. Donning the armor through repressing grief, hurt, and sadness, and by covering emotional distress with an outer facade of independence, imperturbability, and caregiving becomes an unconscious and unexamined coping mechanism with potentially dire consequences. Emotional stoicism. How you doing today, sis? I'm good. How's everything going? Your baby's getting ready to graduate. They fine. How was your Christmas? It was okay. Emotional stoicism, a facade of control, selflessness, and silence. And the burden of invulnerability, it's a burden not to be vulnerable. Did you hear me? It is a burden to not tap into your own emotions, assess them, take care of them, and move on with your day. It is a burden to think that you cannot be vulnerable. You are killing yourself. In spirit, in mind, in being, in existence. I'm not dying to nothing. If I feel like being vulnerable, I'm going to be that. It's okay. It doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger. Invulnerability are normalized by the black woman's womanhood. She doesn't feel anything. She doesn't need anything. She doesn't want anything. She gonna be all right if I leave her over there in the corner by herself. And a lot of us feel in rooms of people that we love and know, we feel left in a corner by ourselves because we too dang tired. The myth of the black woman's role, again, thinking about the communal savior, the martyr, the black feminine character, Black Madonna, and Mammy. I want you all to think about an image of somebody you know personally that is this strong black woman to you, and what are the characteristics that you would say behind that person's name? Is vulnerability one? Is rest one? Is balance one? Myth to mindset, because that's where we're moving, right? Black women must adopt a wellness mindset by putting their own self-care into daily to-do lists. One of mine is I like Fred Hammond. I like to ride in my car with no music. Every time I'm moving, I really don't have nothing on. I like to think there, in the car seat. Sometimes I don't get out the car when I get home. I like her either on the toilet, just to be honest, but that's my way, right? I just need to sit still and think. Whatever you do in your self-care daily, not I got an appointment for a massage next month. We serving daily, but we put our well-being on a monthly schedule. Don't make no sense. If I'm serving daily, I'm taking care of me daily, right? It could be praying. It could be walking my dog. It could be drinking more water. Whatever it is, take care of yourself and do it even the more after today, right? When committing to a personal wellness mindset and lifestyle, your entire life will benefit from it. Wellness means getting proper sleep, proper nutrition, and exercise, as well as implementing some time for fun and creativity. I like to paint. I like to roller skate on Sundays. I do all of that because it brings me joy and balances out my life. Some other suggestions for reducing your stress load so that it won't affect your allostatic load is to just say no to them kids too, right, Pay? Sometimes you just got to say, nope, not today, and walk off. I know when I can't hear what somebody else is saying back. I done said no so deep in my spirit before the question even came. Ma, this my son. Ma, how you doing? What you up to today? Ooh, boy. I've been thinking about y'all. I ain't been down there in a while. I'm like, oh, here it comes. Yeah, babe, I'm doing all right. How you doing? Wait a minute. Do I say how do you? Erase that. I'm good. I hope you well too, son. Because I know it's coming, right? Understanding when the no is just no, right? Beef up your spirituality, engage in therapeutic support groups for women, painting groups, roller skating groups, braiding groups, double dutch groups. I don't care what it is. Group for ice cream every Friday with your girlfriend. Sound like fun, don't it? Bet you won't do it, Mika. Okay. Just engage in meaningful relationships, let go of others, create space that's just for you. What is a wellness mindset? Healthy boundaries, Megan Watson, Bloom Psychology and Wellness. This sister was in the essence. Look her up, y'all. She's got a whole podcast and website addressing black wellness for women. I think she's in Canada. Megan Watson, Bloom Psychology and Wellness, stated, when I think about living a soft life, because we always talk about living a hard life, like I'm Tupac or something. Listen, life has been hard. At times. That's a true statement. That's taking a negative thought and checking the evidence. This is what I do in therapy all the time. I ain't living no hard life. I've had hard times in my life. You understand the language that goes into my own ears if I say I'm living a hard, horrible life? This sister says, when I think about living a soft life, I see it as a way of being rather than an achievement to unlock. Just be, right? It marks a return to simplicity and being well without having to resort to rigid beliefs, tough love, and resilience by overproductivity. I am great. If I could tell Sid, I've done 16 things. I got 7 degrees and 4 houses and 10 cars. Overproductivity. For some, it's great. That's fine. Nothing is great without balance. Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. You will fail with all of that ambition and no rest and no regard for self and no way to be healthy and whole, right? You can have all that. You might die, though. You won't tap into vulnerability. You won't tap into not having to be strong for others. You can find a purpose. What brings you passion? What brings you joy? What do you dream about at night? What's planted in your soul that you're supposed to be doing that you ain't doing because you're going to do it when? Find purpose and create a path for yourself that aligns with that purpose. That's a wellness mindset in itself. If you're struggling, working where you're working, doing what you're doing, living with who you're living with, living on the block, if you're struggling, figure that thing out. Don't suffer long is what my mama used to say. Don't suffer long, baby. Because it does something to us. Find peace, mindfulness techniques, rest, yoga, stretching, sleeping, quietness. How do we reframe the strong black woman and refashion, like we heard Dr. Roberts say, refashioning the way the system is utilized to harm black folks and children. Reframing, refashioning strength. Black women must cultivate self-awareness and honor the full range of emotions that we have, including vulnerability. They must recognize the negative internal monologue of my own. Simone must recognize her own internal monologue that says that I have to do all these things to be respected, to get paid, to be honored, to be loved, to be adored, or whatever you think you want. Change that internal dialogue in your head and give yourself some grace. Just add some, make a grace sandwich. You see what I'm saying? Because we just don't give ourselves enough credit and enough grace. I've done enough for today. That's grace. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'd like to have this, but I'll get there. I'm going to get there. I ain't got to kill myself. That's grace. Self-care is not selfish. I'm not going into that no more. Mindfulness-based practice are a huge step in fostering self-care. Mindfulness, sitting still, meditating, deep breathing, focusing on the sky, thanking, this is me and my business, thanking God for air, for light, for health, for strength. That's mindfulness, right? Black women must also move, M-O-V-E, action-oriented, beyond self-silencing to honest, open dialogue in safe places. So usually I speak, Mika, and I'm somewhere and people say, I wanted to say something to you afterwards, but I didn't want nobody to know. You really touched on me. You was talking about me today. I'm really suffering. I say, why are we whispering? I don't know none of these people, and if I do, I don't care nothing about what they think about me because nobody is helping me with we energies. Nobody. They really are bothering me, and I'm tired of being strong with them. Tired of being strong for we. Tired. But I can say that, and it's a safe place. I could do this with y'all because I'm safe. I don't have to hide what I'm going through because other women are going to persecute me or put me down. I ain't even into that. And if any sister in here is going to persecute me or put me down, that's who you be, and that's your business. It don't even belong to me. I don't carry nobody else's opinion of me. I used to. But you really get delivered from that when you get tired enough. And when your body keeps you back and forth to the doctor for your blood pressure, when your doctor want to hospitalize you because your blood pressure is, what, 200 over 220 pain. The lady asked me one time, is you okay? I was like, uh-huh. She's like, are you lightheaded? I was like, are you? She's like, do you got a headache? I was like, no, I got to go back to work. What's up? She's like, we finna hospitalize you. This don't make no sense. Huh? We don't even, high blood pressure is what they call a silent killer. You don't even feel it. I wasn't lightheaded. I wasn't dizzy. I was doing it. I told her I got to go pick Peyton up from swim class. She's like, not tonight. Well, I must got to do something about this because I know too many women that die from health-related disease, stress-related diseases. Okay? Too many women. Finally, as leaders, black women must also acknowledge and celebrate their emotions. Yay, I'm doing so well today because I acknowledge that I'm tired and I'm sitting down. I'm doing so much better at this. Like I'm winning. Yeah, I told Peyton, nah, and I can't come down south this week, Peyton, because I just can't. My schedule is too crazy. But I'll be down there when I said I was going to be. I'm happy that I'm now acknowledging and standing up for myself, because who else was going to do it? I can't expect my man, my kids. They got me, but they can't have me no further than I am. That's a fact. You can have my back, but you can't have it no further than where I stand. And if I won't grow up, keep growing in self, in development, in wellness, then they can't have me. Everybody that knows that Moan is making these switches is very loving and respectful of it and say, about time. About time you ain't doing all that. About time you saying no, Ma. Oh, now we can go swimming together. I can have some fun too. Collective unlearning, this is a slide you all have. It's about doing it as a group. This is a hashtag soft life. Is the sister I told you about, Megan Watson. This is her slogan. And she talked about having a TikTok page with 742 million views on it, talking about living this soft lifestyle. Don't get it twisted. You may see some luxury. That's beautiful. I'd like luxury. But that's not the soft life. The soft life is when you watch people enjoying is the soft life. I could be enjoying grandkids, enjoying a movie, enjoying nothing. So don't get twisted when you see people saying, I don't want to be strong, I'm soft, and they might be in Aruba. That's delicious. But don't get it twisted with luxury. I don't have luxury money. I got enough money to sit on my own couch and watch Hulu. Okay? That's my luxury right now, and that's okay. Collective unlearning, continue being environments that promote well-being, healing, stillness, support systems, ask for help, lean on your supports, ask your friends, learn to trust those that continuously show up for you. Stop leaning into people that don't show up for you, because internally somewhere within you that hurts. So be very careful. Redefine the stereotype of the strong black woman. You can shape it for you. You can shape it for you. You can. I don't have to go by nobody's definition of what strong black woman means. For me, it means I don't do nothing on Mondays. And I'm strong in that. Okay, I'm strong in that. I'm strong in that rest. I'm strong in my time. I don't need that. I don't need permission from nobody, Miss Brookshire, to be strong. I am who I am because my ancestors got me here. I am strong because I am still surviving in all of the isms that we are facing. Racism, sexism, ism, and getting paid less than anybody on the planet. Black women with all that work and all that strength and all that education and all them jobs, we still ain't being respected in this nation. You killing yourself to get the respect and the adoration that ain't coming from people, no way. You got to give it to yourself, sister. I don't have no other choice. I owe myself that, and I owe my mama, and I owe her mama, and I owe her mama, and I owe her mama. And I owe her mama, and I owe her mama. I'm not dying from the same stress-related diseases that this presentation is talking about and that I have family members that have died from. I won't die the same Peyton Elizabeth. She won't see it. You understand? That's my responsibility. Authors, Woods and Gixcombe, I always mess her up, Gixcombe, I can't say it right, and Black. describe the potential utility of the 3 mind-body interventions. Here comes y'all's help. I preached a little bit. I told y'all a little background. We went through history. We talked about why we're dying faster than any other persons on the planet, black women. So here come your help, okay? That's how we summon it up. Mindfulness-based stress reduction is an 8-week evidence-based program. You can find them in Milwaukee and all over the nation. You can find them online. It teaches you for 8 weeks how to better understand your system, your allostatic load, the stress and how it tackles and attacks your kidneys and your spleen and your liver, why you can't rest at night, why you keep waking up, why you walk around mad, why you so angry, sister, why you mean. Do the work to figure it out. Mindfulness-based stress reduction. Loving kindness meditation, which is the one I love. LKM, to cultivate compassion and forgiveness for self and others. Sometimes I'm working with clients in my therapy practice that really are critical of other people. My mom doesn't do this, and my dad doesn't do this, and my wife doesn't do this. Very critical. And so we always say, where'd you first hear that voice? Whose voice is that? What do you mean? Well, if you're critical of others all the time, get this, here we go. You're very critical of yourself. Huh? If you are always critiquing, if you're watching me today trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, trust me, I'm doing a lot wrong. That's my business. If you sit up here watching where I'm going to fail or mess up, that's my business. You focused on the wrong thing, sisters and brothers. That means you really have a critical eye of yourself. And that causes stress too. Trust me, that's research-based too, but that's another time. Thinking about the LKM to cultivate compassion and forgiveness of self and others, I really had to learn and fight through forgiving myself. For things that I have done wrong, I'm Simone Kilgore and I've made mistakes in my life. I've harmed people, I've made mistakes, I've done things wrong, and I've asked for forgiveness of myself and others. That's me. Y'all probably perfect and don't do nothing wrong, but that's y'all business. At the same time, when you learn to forgive yourself and others, you just live a happier life. Less stress on you, and your allostatic load is leveled, more balanced, right? NTU therapy for specifically targeting the stress, strength, and contextually related factors that are thought to influence desperate outcomes for African American women is another type of therapy. We are at 2:10, almost done, so I'm gonna keep moving, but make sure you're aware of your own self-awareness. Again, if you're critical of me today, that's fine, that's your business. I made several mistakes. If you wanna write me a letter, that's your business. At the same time, if you're always critical of others, always trying to talk about what somebody ain't doing right, you have a very, very critical eye of yourself, and most likely that accompanies low self-esteem. Most times. That's just research-based. Do the work to heal yourself, okay? So making sure you have intra and interpersonal restorative healing and the redefinition of inner strength. Redefine what strength is for you. That's the homework assignment leaving here. Redefine what strong black woman is for yourself. Black women deserve the space to live and grow in soft ways. The key is to not overcomplicate it. Don't think about it long, sis. Just sit down and rest. Just listen to the whole song. Just eat your whole plate. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Take your time. The key is to not overcomplicate the journey to a soft life mindset. Take your time and try not to judge yourself too harshly along the way. That means keep going. Keep this up the rest of your life. Thank you. Mindful of Sister Audre Lorde's words, we are doing more to move forward holistically for the betterment of ourselves, our bodies, our relationships, our communities, and our planet. Do you understand what Ms. Lorde said first? We are doing more to move forward holistically for the betterment of ourselves. That's the first one she chose. Our bodies, our relationships, our communities, and our planet. But she said ourselves first. That's all. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
Questions. I think we got about time for 2 quick ones.
This was just absolutely wonderful. Y'all want to clap one more time for my friend? It's my big friend. All right, real quick, let me get on with my question. What would you do, what would you recommend for us to help cultivate this conversation with our elders? I think I take this information, I'm like, now how I gonna tell my mama she need to sit down? Because she looking at me like, you need to get up. And I'm like, but no, mama, I'm gonna sit down. She's like, no, you need to get up. So I know the value and I understand the importance behind what you're sharing with us today. So I really want to know, how can we take this back to our elders?
I think that's such a delicious question, because remember I talked about being a strong black woman, and where my ideals came from was watching my granny get up and cook breakfast. I don't remember her sleeping. I just saw her arms cook. Then I saw my mama. We grew up poor. My mama got a degree, another one, another one, another one, another one, served. I just came from a line like you. Like all of us, our ancestors served, and we thought that was strength. And I'm saying redefine it. So getting with mom and say, Ma, I learned today. Let me tell you, I wish I had brought you there, because let me tell you what this sister said. We redefining what it looks like to be strong, mama. Gigi, neighbor, auntie, cousin, mama. We redefining it. Nobody else will define for me what strength looks like. I'm telling you, my mama passed from that. My people passed from that. So I don't have to deal with nobody else trying to define it for me. Tell your mother, ask her the question, where did you first see a strong black woman? And she gonna tell you somebody's name. And then you say, what made him strong, Ma? Did you ever see him sit down? Did you see him cry? Did you see him ask for help? Because you want her to know that there's nothing wrong with that, and that does not make you weak. If anything, it makes you stronger. It's just a conversation over and over and over until she gets it, because our ancestors deserve it. Your mama deserves it, you know? Any other questions?
That was some good stuff, Miss Simone. And I'm currently writing a workbook, and halfway done, I'm going to steal some of your stuff. I will change the wording so it won't be a plagiarism. But I just recently retired, kind of a lot, from my nursing career, and I just figured out I have a life. Just figured out. I still jump up at 4:30 and I be like, I'm tired. What am I up for? You know, so I just figured, and Medicare so works, so now I don't have that $9,000 deductible, so I can go get, and so now I can go get things done and get things checked, and I'm like, Lord, this is, you know, thank you. Girl, 51 years. 51 years. I mean, it really is, this was really good. Thank you. And I will steal some of your stuff.
It's time.
Yes. Okay, this is the last one.
I'll just be quick, but I'll say, like, one, I feel like this was very empowering to me, because I know one thing that I struggle with, and I think a lot of black women struggle with, you're a single parent and finding that me time is hard. So my question to you is, when you feel like it's just hard to find the free time or the me time, how do you separate that? Because as a parent, I have a 10-year-old that's sitting there talking to me while I'm using the bathroom, and I'm like, geez. But you don't want to hurt their feelings either.
That it's okay for mommy to be on the toilet by herself. That's a right. I got a right to that. But the one thing you don't want to do is teach your children a lack of space, that you're undeserving of downtime. You say to your 10-year-old, I adore you, I love you, but I want to go to the bathroom alone today. Maybe just Tuesdays and Thursdays. The other days you can come in. But today I want the rest, because mommy needs it so I can get up and be the best that I can be. So I could be, yes. And then Jermaine said, go.
Okay, so I have 5 kids, and I know what you're talking about, but we had an agreement. When I come in, give me that 15 minutes. I just need 15 minutes of downtime, and then I'm going to come with y'all. And we make agreements together, and that's what I did, because I was like, I need that 15. And then I found this person that would take them. I need a Calgon monitor. Can you take them for an hour before and they'll be calling CPS. So take them.
And that worked very well.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, everybody. We got another session coming in right now. They starting right abruptly, so if you guys can make your way into the hallway if you're not staying for that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone, for a wonderful presentation. So next we have children in crisis coming into this area. If you had any pieces of paper or Kleenex that you just accidentally left on the chair, just turn around and pick it up, okay?